Sup guys, O'Shea here. Last episode with Miraidon Flaaffy, we said we'll either make it to Great League or make 6 episodes. This one is the 5th, so you know we're getting there. Not much of an achievement since the break-even point for Poke League is 1/3, meaning anything better will push us upward, but still a wholesome finish for the run, and we're happy with it. Playing against decks we've had hard times dealing with. No changes made to the deck, so nothing new to the hardware, but we redefined our resources and tweaked our plays accordingly. More on that after the games. And as you can see, after 5 episodes, 54 games recorded, 61 if counting the testing phase, we still haven't fixed the Flaaffy spelling in the name of our deck. Flaaffy spells with 2 A's and 2 F's, too late for us to do anything about it. But don't get it wrong yourself if you fancy frying players out there with some sheep. Quote for today by Albert Camus: "Freedom is nothing but a chance to be better." Something to think about. Now the games. Not a mistake here because we can bench another Miraidon from the deck. The new macro strategy of this deck is to attack with Miraidon ASAP for the lead in prize, and switch to Snorlax when our opponent tries to catch up with single prize attackers. GG. Bad attach here, should have retreated Manaphy to protect our bench from Greninja. Losing a sheep or tanking Cram hit with Miraidon is okay. Punished. Punished hard here, Greninja's attack is sick for the macro, cannot be overstated. It takes 2 prize cards, only giving 1 in exchange if we can knock him out next turn, cripples our board, and none of this would have happened if we retreated Manaphy on turn 1. Barely keeping up with the macro, gust frying the Tina here. Whether we draw into Skystone or not, we have to KO their Tina V-Star with Raichu. Raihan would have been perfect here, and we did question hard on why we had not included him for so long. We played a lot of single prize Pokemon, so lose as many of them in play. The deck relies heavily on Skystone to win the macro, and we pile a ton of energies in discard. Why? Just why? Lol, now that's luck. GG. GG. Bit about the deck before we take a break from it. First of all, we only realized recently the deck got named after Miraidon for a reason. We have been giving this thing too little credit as an attacker. With the fair attention it deserves, Miraidon actually hits a solid 220 for 3 energies, packs 220 health itself, and cheats lightning basic Pokemon on the bench. Looking at the same 220 health double prize benchmark, its competition seen in the meta are Lugia V, Arceus V, Giratina V, and perhaps Gudra V as well. Now let's point out some facts if they aren't obvious enough. Which one of these even compare with Miraidon in the span of things they can do to affect the game? Miraidon doesn't even get gusted out from the bench by Serena, which is another thing we'll talk about more in a moment. But see where we're going? Of course we can say those basic V Pokemon achieve their full potential in their evolved V-Star form, but that's the point. Miraidon impacts the board at least one turn faster than the rest of them, without the need to find the evolved form in our hand, and hits insanely hard with its ability to KO itself along with other Pokemon of the same health tier. In a nutshell, Miraidon is an amazing attacker by itself and is absolutely capable of leading the attacker roster of its deck as the first choice. Now some of you who have been watching our videos for a while may ask, but Shay, what about Snorlax? Didn't you say Snorlax was the first choice vanilla attacker? That is correct, we did say that multiple times over making these videos. Thanks for paying attention and remembering, but it is all in the past now. We've been rethinking our interpretation toward the macro with this deck, and after 50 so games of testing, we've concluded giving 2 prize cards is not a problem with Miraidon because most single prize attackers will not be able to knock it out with one hit. Take Cram from Lost Zone as an example. If Miraidon managed to attack first, it takes down a Comfey, gets chipped by Cram, knocks out Cram, and gets knocked out by the next Cram. That is a fair 2-2 prize trade, so no deficit in the macro. What matters is to get first hit, so first turn attack becomes a high priority goal when starting a game with this deck. But what do we get with Snorlax? Without question, 180 damage on a 150 health single prize basic Pokemon is as broken as it gets, not to mention it's also colorless, but in practice the damage often proves awkward against the majority of 2 prize Pokemon. Surely Snorlax offers immense value when it crashes 180 damage on things like Mew V and Lumineon V, but what about health ranges from Genesect onward? We've played too much Lost Zone before rotation, we might have taken Sableye for granted, but the truth is if Snorlax cannot knock these Pokemon out in one hit, there's no difference between 180 and 120. If we need to send Miraidon out for finishing Snorlax's work, we'll be exposing 3 prize cards for 1 knockout, which is merely a break even against 3 prize VMAX Pokemon and a deficit against V-Star, other EXs, or bulkier basic Pokemon V. Playing Choice Belt might close the gap a bit, but we don't want to play too many copies of it in the deck. Finding it will be quite a pain, and the number we want to reach is 220, just the thread above what belt Snorlax can hit. So does that mean our sleepy chubby Snorlax have no spot in the deck after all? Well, not necessarily, because hard-hitting single prize Pokemon is quite present in the current format. Radiant Zard, Gardevoir, and Single Strike Stonejourner just to name a few, and we need Snorlax to revenge KO these guys to even things out. In a nutshell, Snorlax positions itself better as a single prize tech attacker against other single prize threats seen in the format. The rightful primary attacker of this deck is Miraidon, and we should get it firing its photon blasters as soon as we can. But what are some other attackers we can consider for Miraidon Flaaffy? We'll try to explore this question with a review on Kazuki Usaki's deck, earning him the 11th place in the Champions League Miyagi tournament. First of all, congratulations to Kazuki for his success in this tournament with over 2,400 players competing for top finishes. As you can see, Kazuki plays less Miraidon and Sheep than we do, but he plays more Raichu and a Raikou V as alternate attacking choices. We know well enough about Raichu, insane burst damage limited only by the energies we managed to get into play, but what about Raikou? How does it earn a spot over a 4th Miraidon? To put it simple, after suffering through the lack of draw power from this deck, Raikou's card draw ability is without doubt an asset. Its attack is considerably cheaper than Miraidon's, and in many cases hits harder than Raichu with only 2 energies on himself to discard. Overall, Raikou provides for a narrow niche market in terms of damage output, comes with a handy card draw ability, the right retreat cost to pivot around, and compatibility with our Sealstone V-Star powers, which Miraidon will not be able to use no matter how much it craves. Kazuki also went ahead to include Lumineon since he already plays quite a number of Pokemon Vs in the deck to find a right supporter when the hand is lacking. In terms of supporter, Kazuki plays a heavy draw frame with full stacks of Professor's Research and Judge. This is also the perfect place for us to talk about Serena, because whoever made this card for the Silver Tempest set was absolute genius. Before rotation, players could often rely more on Serena over Boss since we usually make the best use of gust effects on multi-price Pokemon V anyway. So the option for a relatively weak card draw effect was a nice bonus to have. But in a format where new Pokemon EXs won't take Serena's gust effect, Boss reclaims the throne for gust supporter of choice on one end, and EX Pokemon gains a significant edge over Pokemon V on another. Don't know if we're the first to say this, but instead of nerfing Boss down with competition, Serena is rather a card printed to pave way for the success of EX Pokemon printed in the new generation. Back to Kazuki's supporter roster, he chose to not play Miriam for Recycle, nor Arezu for the niche Flaaffy Surge. Understandable logic here, Arezu does seem a bit too narrow in her niche use, and he won't need Miriam as much with 2 Raichus in the deck. We might copy Kazuki's supporter list if we're playing more with Miraidon Flaaffy, perhaps switch Serena out for Raihan as we covered in the game we just shared, or we might play one less Judge for the card slot. 4 electric generators also seems like a right change for us to make, since it contributes toward the fast setting up of Miraidon's attack, but we'll probably keep our level balls over his ultra balls to find Flaaffy. The 4-card 2 beach court retreat support seems cool, should work better than our current 3-3. Not a big fan of his Forest Stone, but at least we can agree on Sky Stone. This is all we have for today. Apologies if the excessive talking brings you to sleep, but since this is our last episode with our Sheep and Miraidon for a while, might as well pour everything we have to say without reserve. Be seeing ya. Peace.